track in the fight against HIV/AIDS and other STDs in the Bahamas, but the messaging and efforts in that vein must be targeted and ongoing. And Her Excellency Angela Missouri Sherman Peter has passed away. She was surrounded by loved ones in New York at the time of her passing. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Labor Minister the Honorable Pia Glover-Rold and her team locked in meetings following news today of Norman's Key officials letting go of a significant number of its employees now left to find work elsewhere. While the minister was limited in her comments, she did share with us that officials or her office is in active discussions with Norman's Key legal counsel. The Norman's Key development has been mired in controversy. Just this past May, Labor Director Howard Thompson was forced to launch an investigation into a situation there that he deemed the most severe he's encountered during his tenure. At the heart of that specific matter, allegations of human trafficking, labor violations, and substandard living conditions. Now, we can tell you that our news team also reached out to Tourism Minister and Exuma MP, the Honorable Chester Cooper, for comment, but those efforts were unsuccessful up to news time. This is a developing story that we will continue to follow. A technical team on the ground in Long Island yesterday assessing the scope of works ahead of construction on the first phase of that island's multi-million-dollar international airport. And this just a few weeks after a contract was signed between the government and Bahamas Hot Mix. Desmond Saunders reports from Long Island.
It's the news Long Islanders have been waiting on for quite some time.
From I was a child, we were promised an airport, a runway, and it's finally here.
We're hoping that this would make the turnaround that would bring Long Island more closer to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
In just a matter of days, shovels will hit the ground for the redevelopment and construction of a new $20.8 million international airport runway and terminal in Deadman's Key, Long Island. Long Island Administrator Jandalee Archer calling it a big deal.
When it comes to travel, you'd find that we have our share of second homeowners as well as tourists coming here. But it's always been a problem getting in and out of Long Island when it comes to air transport. And so this can only enhance our progress in terms of economic progress for the island of Long Island.
Bahamas Hot Mix is constructing a new 6,000-foot asphalt runway, which will be longer, wider, and more resilient, capable of handling increased airlift. The new airstrip will be outfitted with 12 new drainage wells, security fencing, and 100 solar runway lights. A hillside near the airport will be removed to bring the airstrip in line with International Civil Aviation Organization standards. Managing Director of Bahamas Hot Mix, Abby Sadie.
We have worked in Long Island before. We have hired local. A lot of our managers are already from Long Island, such as the project manager for this scheme, Holly Fox. So a lot of them are keen to come home and help build this runway.
The project expected to catapult the island's economy, providing numerous opportunities for Long Island residents. But Director of Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Romer, is optimistic of the overall impact this project will bring to tourism.
But this is part of a wider national narrative to transform Family Island's infrastructure, beginning with airports. This represents for us a meaningful increase in airlift, which translates into heads and beds and eventually monies into the pockets of our local entrepreneurs and stakeholders.
People have to leave from Long Island and go to Exuma by way of ferry to catch a flight from Exuma to Nassau. And then along with that, they'll have to, in some cases, they have to go back to Exuma to catch the ferry to get back to Long Island. So that should tell you how much the people of Long Island have been suffering for the past 50 years.
Long Island residents welcoming the new multi-million-dollar project as repeated calls for airport improvement have been answered. Construction on the first phase of the airport redevelopment project begins in 2 weeks. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Thanks, Desmond. The Bahamas has made significant strides in the fight against HIV/AIDS in the last 2 decades, and newly released data provides hope that the country is on the right track. As Corvell Pfeiffer reports, to do that, health officials are hoping to strike the right message.
Tonight, health officials are happy to highlight what they consider significant progress in the fight against AIDS. Statistics compiled over the last 15 years help bolster this optimism.
AIDS death decreased by 57% from 2010 to 2024. Since 2010, newly reported HIV diagnosed cases have decreased by an impressive amount of 47%.
But officials do note a concerning trend which emerged during the COVID years.
In the recent years, we are starting to observe increases in HIV higher than the pre-COVID numbers. As part of my ministry's responsibility, we continue to monitor the situation related to sexually transmitted infections across the country.
Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville and Director of the National HIV, AIDS, and Infectious Diseases Program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, both stressed the need for greater prevention and education for youths as being paramount in the fight to lessen the spread of sexually transmitted infections and make zero new HIV cases a reality. They both urge candid conversations on the issue of safer sex.
Some of these STIs could be spread by contact before even penetration happens, and condoms have to be used consistently. We have to have open conversations. You can't use Vaseline and baby oil with condoms. They're going to break the condom.
The Ministry of Health has started a nationwide campaign to get its message out and to get the public's attention. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
Thanks, Corvell. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is pushing forward with the digital transformation of maternal and child health records through the SIP Plus system as the program moves from paper to digital. Officials say it's already making a real difference. Lyle Maycock has that story.
Since launching earlier this year, the Perinatal Information System Plus, also known as SIP Plus, is now live in several public clinics in New Providence, with training nearly complete in Grand Bahama. Director of Public Health Dr. Philip Swan says the program has reached a key milestone.
We've trained all of our public health clients, nurses, I should say, in New Providence, as well as all of the staff in Grand Bahama, the public health sector staff in Grand Bahama. So we're in a process where we're actually doing live data entry.
SIP Plus replaces the old paper-based system and gives providers real-time access to a patient's medical history, regardless of the clinic they visit.
I guess logistics perspective, it's the ability to go into the system and see what's happening with the patient across the sector. So if a patient now shows up at a different clinic, you'll be able to go into that system and see what's been happening with them, even if they don't present with their cards.
Beyond convenience, the system supports national health priorities, like reducing mother-to-child transmission of HIV, hepatitis, and syphilis. This comes alongside new data just released at the Ministry of Health and Wellness press briefing, where head of the Ministry of Health National HIV, AIDS, and Infectious Disease Program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, revealed there were up to 156 new cases of HIV in 2024.
But we're still having challenges, and that's simply because of our numbers. We have persons who still present to the clinics late or not at all. Because they feel they've been pregnant before 2 or 3 times, they don't need to have the care again or need to see a clinic again, and that's a challenge because as parents know, every child is different, and therefore every pregnancy is different. So you may not have had a pregnancy in the first instance, but you may have a challenge in this particular instance. And so any little thing that happens in our system shows up as a big blurb or issue on the screen, globally speaking. And so what we have been trying to do is report our own data in terms of what actually happens, as opposed to in a generalized format.
And now, since its launched back in March, SIP Plus is poised to transform maternal and child health care nationwide. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lyle Maycock.
Thanks, Lyle. An early start for a team of officers from the Northwest Division who headed to West and Patton Streets, where just hours earlier a man was gunned down. His bullet-riddled body found near a water pump. Police tell us a dark-colored vehicle pulled up. Someone inside opened fire before speeding away north on West Street. Here's Assistant Superintendent Aaron Sands.
What happened last night, but we're in the area and trying to see if we could bring closure to this matter. We're walking through the community, and as long as it takes to gather information, we're going to be in this area.
Mona Lisa Ferguson, or Mother, as many know her, has lived in the Baines and Grantstown community all her life. She says she's known the victim for a very long time.
And I won't lie, no matter true situation, no matter what it was, every time he saw me, he always just tell me, "So, but I love you, and I respect him just because no matter what he was a nice person through it all. Might have been going on his mind, but it really hurts to know every day I see him and every minute I saw him, that's all he's telling me, that he loved me."
There are two other shootings being probed by authorities. ShotSpotter technology detected gunfire in the area of Buttonwood Avenue and Sequoia Street in Pinewood Gardens shortly after 9 o'clock last night. When officers got there, they discovered a 40-year-old male with an apparent gunshot injury to his right leg. They learned that the victim was walking in the area when a motorcycle occupied by two men approached. One of them reportedly produced a firearm and discharged several shots in the victim's direction before fleeing the scene. Traveling east along Sequoia Street, the victim is in hospital tonight. Around 2.5 hours later, officers found themselves in a similar circumstance in the area of Willis Street and Alexandria Avenue. A 38-year-old man was outside an establishment when he was reportedly shot by another man following a dispute. That victim is also in hospital tonight. Police issuing an all-points bulletin today for two armed robbers they need to question. Take a look at the picture on your screen. Police say this man stands between 5'7" and 5'9" tall and has dark brown complexion and slim build. The second armed robber, whose silhouette shows he's wearing a hoodie, has a dark brown complexion and slim build. If you can assist police locate these men, please contact the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991 or 2-919-911 or your nearest police station. Several firearms also taken off the streets yesterday. Fox Hill police officers conducted a routine stop and search of a group of men on Fox Hill Road around 10:30 yesterday morning. They seized a loaded firearm and a quantity of ammunition. The men, ages 40, 35, and 27, were taken into custody. Then around noon, Operation Black Scorpion officers found a firearm while searching a bushy area off Balls Alley. No arrests were made in that incident. A 27-year-old woman and a juvenile female were also taken into custody by SWAT and K-9 support unit officers after executing a search warrant at a home off Fire Trail Road around 3:30 p.m. when they discovered a firearm components, and a quantity of ammunition. From the courts, 7 Haitians, 5 men and 2 women, along with a Dominican man, appeared in a magistrate's court number 1 this past Tuesday for overstaying and illegally landing. All pleaded guilty and were convicted. All individuals were ordered to be turned over to the Department of Immigration for deportation upon payment of fines or completion of sentences. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Cable Bahamas rejecting any claims that the company may go bankrupt in the midst of increased satellite regulation changes. The company's response stems from a Tribune article this week purporting that Cable Bahamas may be forced to exit the market and or file for bankruptcy if regulators fail to ensure it can compete on equal terms with Elon Musk's Starlink and other satellite providers. Earlier this week, Cable Bahamas' president and CEO, Franklin Butler, informs ZNS News that the company disclosed the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, IRCA, the need for fair regulation regarding satellite operations across the country, especially in the Family Islands. While denying the article's claims, he boasted that the company's finances remain very strong and officials are already ahead of the game.
In fact, what we are doing in major population centers like New Providence, now Abaco, and soon to be Grand Bahama, and potentially Luther, is we are investing in fiber infrastructure. We have spent in excess of $85 million out of East in improving fiber optic services to the home so that customers can get up to 10 gigabits speed, download and upload. And really, we have pivoted coming off of the pandemic and the need for video conferencing, etc., to further invest. So we are very confident. Our results suggest that we are meeting the needs of our customers. We continue to refine our customer experience. And so we are very confident of our position. But on these remote islands where we have operated in the past is where we were just asking for a level playing field in the regulatory regime, not that in any way Cable Bahamas is considering, concerned about bankruptcy or otherwise. We just want to make sure we have a level playing field.
An American cancer survivor rang the bell in the Bahamas today, marking the end of her treatment and the start of a new chapter. That story tonight from Amaya Moss.
LaTanya's journey wasn't just a fight against cancer, but a testament of resilience in the face of fear, pain, and uncertainty. Her ringing the bell represents more than the end of treatment. It marks a new beginning filled with promise, healing, and life renewed.
I honestly thought it might have been just a, ductal area, maybe a cyst, because cyst runs in my family. From my understanding, no one had breast cancer. So never thought in a million years that it would be breast cancer. And I remember when the doctor called, and I was like, "You sure you got the right patient?" And he went back, he checked, and he said, the 2 knots you were feeling are cancerous. I was scared. I have 3 children, 21, 6, and 10. So, I don't want to die. I got to live for my kids. And my sister prayed for me before I headed back to the States, and I just stayed positive.
Coordinator for the visiting sector at the Ministry of Tourism, Tamara Lundy, expressed her heartfelt gratitude to the South Carolina native for choosing the Bahamas to be a part of her healing journey, describing the visit as both inspiring and meaningful.
Everyone has somebody that has been affected by it directly or indirectly. And for her to be celebrating such a major milestone of triumph and, overcoming, and here in the Bahamas where Jesus lives, that is awesome.
Breast cancer oncologist Naveen Gurgis emphasized the importance of awareness, noting that early detection can significantly improve the outcomes. She added that spreading awareness isn't just about information, it's about saving lives and encouraging action before it's too late.
We still try to get it out to everybody. All women should know that early detection is the best protection, and the early detection doesn't happen without the screening. Screening should start at a certain age, at the age of 40. Of course, if you are in a family which has a strong family history with cancer in the family, you should discuss with your primary physician when you should start your screening.
In the shadow of overwhelming odds, LaTanya's gallant spirit shines fiercer than any darkness, lighting a fire of hope destined to shine long after the fight is won. Reporting for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Amaya Moss.
Thanks, Amaya. Andros is hoping to attract more visitors to the Big Yard very soon to enjoy its unique beauty. We turn it over to Charles Fisher, who has this update.
Thousands flocked to Andros last weekend for the All Andros Berry Island Regatta. Either they came by air or the most common by mail boat. It's the largest island in the Bahama chain and perhaps the most closest by air from mainland New Providence, but still not getting its fair share of the tourism pie, locally or internationally. But according to Member of Parliament, the Honorable Leonardo Lightbourne, that's about to change.
Tourism is on the rise. I want to say a good thank you to our minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, Chester Cooper, and what he's doing in his team. However, here in North Andros and the Berry Islands, we have seen tourism on the rise. We have seen boats Old and Morgan's Bluff being anchored off. We have seen those day boatings come in. So we're looking forward to tourism to continue to rise here in North Andros and the Berry Islands. However, accommodations has been an issue here on the island. We are asking investors, we are asking people to come in and invest to see what Andros have to give. We need a few more bed and breakfast, motels and so forth. But at the moment now, we're on the rise. Tourism is doing pretty good, but there's a lot more to be done.
Yet persons choose to go either to the United States or other family islands rather than the Big Yard, which was once $120 round trip, has bloomed to $240 round trip just for a 15-minute flight.
As a government, I guess we need to support our pilots. Well, of course, we definitely need an airport here in North Andros. You see what we walk into. Hopefully that could change in a few months. We have some groundbreaking or something happening. I spoke to the DPM. We have some investors at the table. So hopefully soon, in a few months, North Andros and North Andros specifically could say that they have a brand new airport coming in, international airport. However, in the Great Albuquerque, our airport's done. It's open, functioning. And so I'm thankful and grateful for that as well. I'm sure the people of Great Albuquerque could say the same.
Looking forward to the Big Yard becoming a big-time destination. For Access Now, I'm Charles Fisher.
Thanks, Charles. Officials at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressing condolences and deep sadness to the family of Her Excellency Angela Missouri Sherman Peter. She passed away in New York City today, surrounded by her loved ones. A Foreign Affairs release acknowledged that during her remarkable diplomatic and public service career, Sherman Peter served as Consul General of the Bahamas to New York, Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations, High Commissioner to Canada, and non-resident High Commissioner to Zimbabwe. She also served as Assistant Director at the Commonwealth, Ambassador, and Special Envoy. She held other high-ranking roles at the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, National Security, and the Office of the Attorney General. Her last post before retirement was that of Ambassador and Permanent Observer for the Caribbean Community to the United Nations. She was awarded the Order of Distinction by Governor General, Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Cynthia Pratt, in 2024. Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Amajal?
And the Bahamas men's and women's national volleyball team preparing for the Caribbean Volleyball Championships. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
In 2010, a grant helped Bahamas Striping Group of companies get started. Today, that seed has grown into a national force, building roads, airports, and brighter futures. Now, we're leading the way through public-private partnerships, what we call 3Ps, where government vision meets private sector innovation. 3Ps empowers local subcontractors, giving them the chance to bid. And with every contract, we're putting money directly into communities, creating jobs, supporting families, and fueling growth. From roads in Eleuthera to community centers in the inner city, we're not just laying asphalt, we're laying foundations for financial opportunity. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we believe in building more than infrastructure. We're building up Bahamians who build the Bahamas. 3Ps, public-private partnerships for people, progress, and prosperity.
Welcome to your TGIF Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. The Caribbean Volleyball Championship set to be held here in the capital in less than a month. The Bahamas men's and women's national volleyball teams hard at work preparing themselves to have a stellar showing in front of the hometown crowd, potentially bring home 2 gold medals for the 242. San Antonio sports team popping on over to the Kendall G. Lazick Gymnasium last night during national team practice sessions, speaking to coaches and players about their expectations for the tournament. On both the men's and women's sides, they're expecting big things.
Expectations just to do well as a team. Obviously to win gold. I feel like we have the guys and the talent to do it. So anything less than gold for me would be a disappointment. Just working hard, consistency, trying to get some of the younger guys to start working out in the gym and showing them the importance of weights and how it helps you be better on the court every day, especially in a tournament where it's every day. So you have to make sure your body is fresh and ready to go.
I know I'm very excited about it. We've been training for a while now. We have a lot of new faces, which is really encouraging. This is going to be my first time performing at home, so I'm kind of nervous but excited. It's been really good energy. A lot of things that we've been working on have come to fruition, so I hope we can carry those into the tournament.
And head coach Glenn Rolls speaking about the makeup of the team as well as the hometown support.
Young, but we are athletic, mentally strong, and this is one of the best possible times that we could produce a gold medal in this event. The key word is support. Support, support, support. For many years, that has been one of our downfalls in all sports. We need to come together as a unity, come together as the Bahamas and support our athletes. We are doing great. With your support, we'll do greater, and we'll have
the most energy and the utmost respect for our people when that happens.
A professional baseball player making big waves over in the north. Our Swanson Gibson Jr. has more in this report.
Professional baseball player Toby Simmons is making a major impact in the far north. After having a stint with the Miami Marlins organization, Simmons joined Canada's Inter-County Baseball League earlier this year, having a string of impressive performances for the London Majors.
I mean, it's different for sure. Different than Florida. You know, Florida right there at home. But I liking it so far. Weather different. But when I first got there, it was like a little colder. But I mean, baseball-wise, still the same. Still just playing baseball, having fun. Just offensively, I've been leading off, so that's not really different for me, but more what I used to. So just got to come in and do my job, which is to get on base.
The 20-year-old center fielder has tallied 35 hits with 3 home runs and 17 runs batted in, picking up Player of the Week honors in June. For his efforts, Simmons was recently nominated as a starter for the South region in the IBL's All-Star Showdown.
Definitely a blessing, for sure, that I could have came in and make an impact. Start the year off good. I'm definitely excited for the All-Star game, first All-Star game. And, still got to finish the season strong, win some games. That's it. Keep on playing the same way.
Simmons gearing up for action as he takes the field on Sunday for the IBL All-Star Showdown. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swansea Gibson Jr.
On the water, the Bahamas National Sailing School summer camps have gotten off to a good start. The first 2-week sessions comprised a joint venture with the LJM Maritime Academy, who sent 17 campers, both boys and girls, between the ages of 12 and 16. The campers got to experience sailing in Optimus, Sunfish, and Nomad sailboats, and also learn to understand the winds and waves while experiencing the beautiful Bahamian waters. Now, all who are capable will also be able to compete in the Optimus National Championships, slated for October 4th through the 5th.
I believe it's very important because since the Bahamas became the national sport became sailing, it's very good to get the young people involved.
I like to sail. I think that's the best experience that I had so far.
Really, to me, I would say it's actually sailing. You would learn it, but I feel like the best part about it is actually going out and sailing.
That's been your TGIF Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles. Enjoy your weekend.
This Sunday at 3:30 p.m., join host Julian Reed for a Legends Independence Special. Guest Bishop Simeon Hall, Beverly LaRota, and Hervis Bain III discuss what it means to be Bahamian. It's the Legends, The Untold Story Independence Special, Sunday at 3:30 p.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening on this Friday, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. Temperatures around the islands this evening. Marshall Barbacoa at 89 degrees, 88 in Green Tool Key, Freeport, Grand Bahama, 88 degrees, 86 in the Berry Islands, Allenstown, Bimini at 87, 85 in Harbor Island, Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 88, Otterstown, Cat Island, 89. Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space at Andros, 88 degrees. Fresh Creek in Central Andros at 87. 89 in San Salvador. Also, Rum Key and Georgetown, Exuma with 89 degrees. And then we pick up 88 in Ragged Island, Clown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 89. Acklands, 89. Matthewtown, Nagua, 87. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 88 degrees. Satellite pictures are showing that upper level trough producing heavy showers to the west of Andros, and some clouds are moving across the capital. All that will be pushing towards the west, so we'll see some clearing heading into tomorrow. Forecast tonight, clear to partly cloudy and very warm with a low temperature at 80 degrees. And tomorrow we're looking at mostly sunny, a high temperature, a hot 90 degrees. Extended weather forecast, beautiful weather tomorrow for outdoor activities. On Sunday, we can get a couple morning showers working its way into our forecast. And by the time we head into the early part of the week, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have those gray skies once again with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms back into the forecast. But things will clear up quite nicely middle of the week on Wednesday, and those daytime temperatures still very warm in the low 90s. So once again, we ask you to keep yourself hydrated. Bryson.
Seeing those high 90s temperatures to make sure we keep hydrated indeed. Thanks, Basil. Well, that's going to do it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and as always, good night.
At Fort Charlotte, I'm Garnell James. This is ZNS.